Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day. And during this video lecture being recorded, it's already almost 11 a.m. Sorry, 11 p.m. And I have to proceed because during this time my internet is stable. Okay, but I believe that yeah, it's easy for you to understand me better during this time rather than my video keep lagging and lagging and lagging, right? Okay, without further ado, I will continue because the last class we stopped at slide 20, okay? And I will go for this, okay, which is page 21, okay? Whereby we go with what is the factors of human errors. Okay, I hope that you listen, I mean like understand my explanation. And if you do have some arising matters to us, do not hesitate to just give comments below this video. And as usual, my students will be asked in our official group WhatsApp, okay, for DRM3236, okay, health and safety management. All right. So according to this diagram, if you can see here, this is some of what we call overload, okay, overload, and then we have inappropriate activities, and then also we have inappropriate response, which is triggered through the human errors. Okay, this is according to Go Stage 2008 in Occupational Safety and Health for Technologies, Engineers and Managers in Fixed Education. So I believe this diagram is been derived from these textbooks. Okay, from this, yeah, it's not yeah, this is textbooks, okay, textbooks, and it's really gives some like overview to us, okay, that this is very important. Yeah? Right, so if you see in here, there is some of explanation. Number one, of course, the human errors tend to be triggered by overload. Okay, so in here, being stated, overloads refers to imbalance between a person's capacity at any given time and the person is carrying in a given state. So meaning to say there will be some imbalance process. Okay, yeah, whatever that we chew is more than what we can, whatever that we eat is more than what we can chew. Apa yang kita makan tu melebihi daripada apa yang kita boleh kunyah. Something like that. Okay, so that is from like I can say that acronym for that. So they say in here, a person capacity is the product of the factors such as natural ability. Okay, I hope that's fine because I can see that my eye is not eye contact to this camera as well. Okay, and then what where am I? Okay, the person capacity is the product of the factors such as natural ability, and then we have training training adequacy, and then we have state of mind, and then fatigue, stress, and physical condition. So meaning to say, this is the person capacity. Okay, meaning to say whether we have like capability. Okay, so this is according to Go Stage 2008, and the meaning of the load. Okay, the loads mean bebanan. Is a person carry consists of tasks for which is responsible and added burdens such as work pressures resulting from environment factors, okay, internal or personal factors, situational factors. Um, okay, so that's you can see here. So here, personal factors, job factors, and so forth. I think there will be some like split in the pages here, but it's okay. Alright. So let me see for the first one. Okay, they said in here, environmental environmental factors. Okay, so when we're talking about environmental factors, mean referring to whatever that surrounded us. Okay, so whether it's related to the noise, distraction, hot and cold, dusty, pollution, working at night, dark areas, workplace. So meaning to say they have insufficient lighting on that. So when we work at night, so probably there was some like tools we use like torchlight, right? But nowadays people not bring the torchlight, but they just bring their own handphone and they have features torchlight inside that, and you just go with the flow, right? Okay, and then we have like workplace on the roads, the labs, and the work site. So this is some of the factors that can be probably triggered to human errors. Okay, and second one, internal or personal factor. It comes from the person itself. So whereby is so-called as personal problems, and we have the financial problems. Okay, I hope that my mic okay now. Okay, family problems, and then we do have health problems, emotional stress, and worry, pain, and maybe it can goes to like anxiety, yeah, and then they feel like depressed. So this is regards to the personal factors, meaning to say it's referring to a person. And the another one is situational, so you can just remember EIS here or SIE, ISE, so acronym environment, internal, situational factor, level of risk. Okay, unclear instruction. Okay, it can be also because when you, what you should do and what the job that you should perform, when the instruction is not be very clear, it can sometimes like confusion will happen, and probably it will become some complexity, right? Heavy tasks or loads and high output. This state is in which a person is active is the product of his motivation and arousal levels. Okay. All right. So if you can see from here, there is a human factor theory of the accident. Okay. So I believe that they have some like what we call, because they have personal factors and job factors is okay. So it's okay, we just proceed. Okay. So in here there will be probably have like the cause, okay, how it the accident can happen, work accident, when the so-called as slip and fall, tergelincir dan jatuh. So they have walking carelessly, not looking. Ni kalau ada, if you realize when we working, not working but walking, walking, and you can see like maybe certain of the road is not smooth. Okay, and there will be like some of a particular road, or maybe they have some like rocks, okay, everywhere. So it possibility to have happen like slip. Okay, and of course the poor lighting. Okay, there is no light at the side road of lighting, so probably will become like work accident. And wires or wood lying on the floor, when the wires like tangle each other, right? So it probably happen also. And then worker wearing slippers, because why slippers is considered as triggered to this work accident, because some slippers they are not protected your what we call finger knee, finger two fingers. Okay, so there will be probably accident will happen when, let's say, they have some like a big object is maybe falling down to your 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 knee, for example. It can become like accident to slip and fall here. And then workers wearing the long dress, especially like female, maybe you use like a jubah, so it's sometimes like it's a good to wear jubah, okay, but it's not appropriate when you are working in something like they have some like workplace that have a very tangles wires, okay, and so forth. So it, like for example, even you use elevator, or even you, elevator is not so significant, but like you using walker later, or you use escalator. So it's very dangerous and risky when you wearing a long dress. So it's not appropriate. It's better that above your two elbow. Okay. Kalau kita tak faham two elbow tu macam kita dekat kita punya apa kita panggil tu dekat anak kaki ni lah, mata kaki kita panggil kan. Okay. And so, course 6 will probably the cleaner did not sweep, okay, which is remove obstacle or housekeeping. So they just let the objects maybe supposedly has been done, but they are not doing their work. Maybe they have lack of staff, insufficient staff. So they not even have the time to go to some department, and then what happened, it probably can become slip and fall. I have been through, I told you before, right? Because I slip and fall in the musalla, staff musalla for a woman staff, and I realized that floor is really slippery with some algae. Maybe they have like insufficient stuff on that, but don't, I'm not blaming, but maybe it's precaution for me one day. Okay, so be careful when we go through with that. And somehow saying that like slippers in here, right? Some slippers, they are not resistant to the oil and water, so it can be like slippery bila uh, slipper sejenis kita kata alat lah, bukanlah pakaian tidak sesuai untuk bekerja dan mudah tergelincir, especially when you work like in kitchen, right? So you are actually not appropriate to use slippers because you are very risky to the oil and also water everywhere. So it probably become like slip and fall. Okay. Alright. So in here there will be like the human factor theory of the accidents. So it being stated here, the human factor theory of accident causation attribute the accidents to the chain of events simultaneously. Ultimately caused by the human error. I think this one will be regards to above just now, which is saying here. Okay. Yeah, here. Okay. But it's okay. Okay. And they say in here, human or workers generally talk, move, walk, handle, carry, lift, and do many work motions. Motion means like your movement, okay, when carry out the task or job at the workplace. So they state here, humans are dynamics. Dynamics mean what? The human is keep changing, okay? They are not just stick to one place, okay? They are moving, okay? And human needs to move to do tasks. Yeah, this is agreed. They do not sit or stand still at time or a place. If you are not moving, meaning you are deaf. Kalau you tak gerak, mana you mati lah. So human makes mistake or error if they are under stress. When we probably making this mistake when, of course, when we having and handle those stress, and of course we feel pressure and facing the certain problems that are beyond their capacity or limits. Okay, so they say here, have you heard of this English saying, to err is human, please do make mistake in life? Because if you heard also some of like pottery said what, if you have done your mistake, actually you are learn from the mistake. Kita bila kita buat kesalahan, sebenarnya kita belajar daripada kesalahan kita tu, supaya kita tak mengulangi kesalahan tersebut. I really recall to my mom said, every time you lost your road, okay, you will learn the new road to you. Bila kita sesat jalan, contohnya jalan lagi nak pergi somewhere, and then Luis bawa kita ke mana-mana kan, kita sesat. Actually kita belajar, oh ini dah jalan yang bila kita dapat suatu jalan yang baru. Oh, this is the new road for me. You learn something from that, from your loss. But don't blame. Maybe there's some miracles there. We call wisdom, right? Because you learn something new. Oh, this is the new road, for example. So they say in here, human factor theory consists of the three factors that we have previously mentioned just now. We have inappropriate response, inappropriate activities, and also the overload. Okay, just now we touched on the overload. Right, now we're moving on to but the basic causes are also known as the root causes, underlying or contributing causes. Okay, the symptom that is substandard acts and conditions are usually quite apparent. Okay, apparently dia adalah satu keadaan yang sangat menonjol lah, but it takes some probing to get at the basic cause. Kita cari punca, akar umbi tu, macam mana boleh berlakunya sesuatu keadaan tu menjadikan tragedi ataupun kemalangan. Okay, so the basic cause help to explain why people perform substandard practices and why the substandard condition exists. So basic cause are divided into two categories. So that ada dua kita kata kategori kenapa berlakunya punca. Okay, so we can see in here they have two, which is personal factors. Okay, I think that this one we mentioned above, right? And then the second one we have the job factors. Okay, so basically in the personal factors, inadequate capabilities such as physical, we have lack of the physical, you are not so fit. Okay, psychological and capabilities, your mind is somewhere else, or maybe you are not focused. It can be lack of knowledge, you don't have that any knowledge about how to do and perform the job, and then lack of skills. Okay, this is plus knowledge plus skills. Okay, and you have also faced certain, you have to handle stress, work stress. Okay, and then what we call financial stress. Okay, I think that during this pandemic there is a lot of challenges and somehow to say that people facing this financial stress because they have been, how to say, they have been removed from the work. Okay, when I say removed from the work, is terminated from the work, right? And then because the company have to maybe like lack of certain, what we call, but they have to keep certain budget. Okay, so what they do is they have to push them. Okay, and then they have peer pressure. Okay, meaning to say um among the colleagues, they also put some, how to say that, they isolate them and then they press them, right? And then output and targets. Okay, and also we do have improper of lack motivation. So when you are living in the circle of people have a negative vibe, right? So indirectly you have, will probably have, perhaps you will have this thing. Okay, lack of motivation. But if maybe the surrounder is maybe like very uh lack of environment as well, but maybe the circle is a very good positive vibe, so you will have the good motivation in here. Okay, so I'm talking about generally how the human being can experiencing their motivation on this. Okay, and then the job factors such as inadequate supervision or management leadership. So this also can be triggered to why the human errors can happen in the job factors, because there is no one actually monitor on the job. Okay, how we perform the job. So no one will be observed. So we feel that everything that we do, as long as completed, so it will be finished and done, performed successfully, until maybe one leader coming and then they see with their own eyes and they observing you and monitoring you, say, so this is not the right things to do. Okay, let me show you how the right things to do. Okay, and abuse and misuse of tools, worn out equipment, defective utilities. So we need to say the tools being used not according to the features and functions. Okay, for example, if you want to like cut something, right, we use scissor or knife, but maybe you use something else in order to cut on something. Okay, so maybe you use like seesaw. Is it seesaw? It's like saw. Okay, seesaw tu dia jongkit, saw tu tu gaji contohnya kan. Okay, so it depends, you have to know the function as well. And then inadequate purchasing specification, certain spec is not equivalent what you need to do, right? It's not according to the demand. And then they have engineering controls and maintenance controls. And also they have inadequate work standard or standard operating procedure. So when we talking about this thing, we have to know, because if you realize this word is keep on like familiarizing to us, okay, SOP. So this is standard operating procedure, whether the work standard that we done is according to the standard or not. And then of course they have the that work environment. Maybe the environment itself is not influence you to do a good job, okay? You've been pressed, you've been pressured, you've been triggered to elsewhere. And then we have poor quality materials, okay? So I believe that uh in terms of the quality as well, okay, you have to know that they have a very poor, okay, you instead of to choose A grade because of the budget, and the top management keep harassing us, okay, not to over budget, okay. So from the grade A, you switch is to the grade C as long as you can perform the product or maybe to serve the services. So it can be poor quality materials, and of course the machine will be malfunction, okay. So there will be like certain of what we call case study here, okay, maybe carry. But I want to go for this thing, which is the theories that are known in the accident causations. Okay, they have 7 in here. Okay, you can see that Domino's theory of accidents. Okay, and then we do have uh, what else? Those causation model, human factor theory, accident or incident theory, epidemiological theory, system theory, and combination theory. So let's recheck each one here. Okay, they have a lot. Okay, and you realize or not, this human factor theory, actually they have been how to say that 2.7, like 2.7 is in here below. Okay, sorry, yeah, sudden. Okay, just now it's about human error, right? So we have in here overload, okay, inappropriate response, and also inappropriate activity, okay. Under accident just now, we have environmental factors, internal factors, situational factors, and then inappropriate response, we have detect a hazard but not correcting it, remove safeguards from machine, for example, like maybe you use like safety helmet but you not lock it, so there will be like you remove some guards there, and then ignore safety signs who you don't even bother what reminder, maybe safety first, okay, please use this green button, okay. Inappropriate activity, performing tasks without requisite the training. So you just go with the flow but you not even attended any training. Actually it's quite risky because you are not the one who are not being trained to perform the job well, okay. And then misjudging the degree of risk in a given task. So when you misjudge, no one to clarify on what is the real fact, so there will become like miscommunication, and that would be good to the risk. Alright, so we're moving to the accident theory of accidents. So according to the accident incident theory, because we go back in here, right, here, okay, and you can see that Peterson accident incident theory, D. Peterson introduced new elements such as agronomic traps, the decision to err, and system failure. Okay, you can see it from here. And pressures such as deadline, okay, and budget factors can make person to behave unsafely, and the syndrome, it will not happen to me. because the things happen to us is unpredictable. So we can't even say that the words, yeah, it maybe goes to others but not me. No, because you have to avoid these things, right? Alright, so it is stated here in a system failure element, there is a potential for the causal relationship between management decision and behavior safety. Okay, so secondly, it establishes management role in accident prevention in health and safety in the workplace. For example, the management fails to establish a safety policy, safety procedure, no proper orientations, and then did not provide sufficient trainings, no clear responsibility and authority, and no provision of personal protective equipment. So PPE is very important when you want to perform tasks, right? Okay, so this is the clarification on inappropriate response. It's just like jumping right around, but I hope that my student is not bothered on that. Okay, when we're talking about inappropriate response, incompatibility, dia tak bersesuaian lah, tak ngam di tengah-tengah. How a person responds in the given situation can cause or prevent an accident. So if the person does detect some hazardous conditions, but does nothing, tak buat apa-apa, yeah, like status quo, okay, to correct it and he has responded inappropriately, situations such as removing safeguard from a machine in an effort to increase the output or disregarding and establishing safety procedure are inappropriate. Okay, response and can lead to accident because you don't even have some like accountability and responsibility to see what should we go and follow the rules. Okay, and another inappropriate response is the workstation incompatibility with regards to work size, reach, fuel, and similar factors that can lead to the accidents and injuries. Okay, so it's also example of inappropriate response or actions. So they have like you say uh take takes what is it? It's not seen here. Use defective tools, okay? And also we have like drive recklessly, did not use PPE, remove guards or barriers, did not use the right equipment and gadgets, and carry excessive walks, meaning talking while walking. So this is also problem. Okay, because why I see this one, it's happened in the fast food restaurant because they keep talking right each other and they not even focus to whatever they do, and there will get some like wrong order. They not listen carefully because they're busy on talking. So this is not also not right things to do. Okay, inappropriate activity, human errors can be the result of the inappropriate activity. For example, inappropriate activity would be a person undertaking a task he does not know how to do, or the person misjudged the degree of risk involved a given task. So such inappropriate activity can lead to the accident and injuries. So there will be represent on 2.6 diagram. So I think like 2.6 diagram is so far away from us just now. So this is things that 1, 2, 3 have been um sum up in there. Okay. Alright. So what is this? Okay. I think this is regards to the system theory models. Okay. Which is they have interaction, man, machine, and environment, and then um how the system theory model is function, right? And then they collect information, they weight the risk, make decision and task to be performed. Because if you realize the arrow is in between here and in line, okay? So of course the interaction will be man, machine and environment, okay? This is system theory model. Okay, and then we have like the key component for predisposition characteristic and situational characteristic. So they are taken together in prevent result in accident. So we do have accident, predisposition characteristic and situational characteristic. Okay, we have susceptibility of people, perception, emotional factors. And then for risk assessment by individual, we have the peer pressure and priorities of the supervisor and attitude. Okay, again, they go with the system theory model using CDAC diagram. They have like a fishbone decision making here. Management, man, machine, materials, matters. So this is 5 M's. And then the problem statement, why the accident occurred. Okay. So why? Okay. So the combination theory of accident causation. Okay. Actually they are not in the right step on this. Okay. The right direction, but I'm going just go with the flow. Alright, so there is often a degree of difference between the theories of accident is stated here. And for some accident, a given model might be very accurate. For others, might be less so. So they said thus using the combination theory helps to explain the actual process of accident and may not combine parts of several theories and work models. Okay, so if you realize in here, uh, what this model trying to say that they have multiples, whatever that causes accident happen, it can have like triggered to multiples of theories. So this is the combination of the theories and the effects of the accident, the deaths from natural disaster tend to be more newsworthy than work accident deaths at the workplace. And then if you realize also the cost of accident are very costly. Yes, once you trigger to accidents or maybe fatality deaths, that is involve a very high cost. If you see from here in terms of like wages, medical expenses, insurance charges, administrative costs, property damages and losses, fire-related losses and indirect costs. So this is the thing, the biggest incident theory. This one, if you realize, they have in the earlier part just now, okay? So it's okay, it's just like, again, it's like human error, overload, ergonomic cracks, decision to err. So they have system failure in here. Why it happened? Because there is no OSH policy, unclear responsibility, no OSH training, no established OSH standard, no inspection, and no corrective actions. Again, it's like combination of the theories. Okay. And then we have what's this? Okay, suddenly they have like a few here. Okay, the accident cause. I think that is read just now. Okay. Uh, Alright, accidents incurred losses to the organization, of course. So they said no matter how much they paid the insured cost, mean the insurance cost, such as monthly or yearly insurance premium for the safety of their workers, for instance, medical insurance, hospitalization insurance, building safety insurance, capital item insurance, the losses or hidden or uninsured costs are much greater than insured costs. Maksudnya contoh-contoh kos yang tersembunyi ni lagi banyak kos dia berbanding kos yang telah di-insured lah, yang telah di-insurancekan. So most hidden in cost like in the penalty, fine imposed on the organisation and the amount of productive time spent by safety officer and safety and health committee doing investigation and interviewing witnesses. Okay, the time lost on the productivity and outputs and the loss of sales and potential customers. Okay, so they say here damages to the machine or equipment and the ideal time, repair and set up the cost, okay, cost of loss of the man hours, okay, cost incurred to the higher replacement because once maybe the workers is maybe injured, we have to replace the new workers, right? And documentation cost, of course, and also safe, etc. Okay, so this is how it look like. Okay, it's like I can say what we call this. Okay, it's like iceberg. Iceberg. Okay, but and you can see from here insert course is in here. insurance premium, training cost, preventive cost, inspection cost, hospitalization cost, and medical costs, but they have hidden costs or uninsured costs, which is a lot, okay, in terms of the product damage, material damage, machinery damage. So after all, in terms like loss of trust image. So this is like iceberg model of accident journey. And the last part, they have some like notes in here, serious bodily injury. So in OSH, this is what the term they use. SBI, National Port Regulation 2004 are defined as emasculation. Okay, this one I want to look details emasculation. I think that more on like you have like sick breathing. Okay, macam berkait rapat dengan nafas lah, pernafasan. And then permanent privation of the sight of either eye. So it can be like you can't see your vision clearly, crystal clear. And because of the effect of the work performance, okay, maybe you look into like very glare vision, for example, kan, sangat terang ataupun terlalu terang, okay. And permanent privation of the hearing of either ear. So mostly probably they are working like in a pod, pelabuhan lah. So they have to use the earplug. If not, there will be difficulties done for hearing. Okay, and privation of any member or joint. So this is like, yeah, in terms of the members who are likely to join you, and destruction of the permanent, impairing of the power of any members or joint, and permanent disfiguring of the heart and face. Dia tak tu jantung dan juga muka, fracture of dislocate. Ini kalau ada dislocate ni bila you punya tulang tu sepatutnya macam ni kan. It have to be like block. It have to be like slip away. Dia terkeluar daripada landasan. Macam tu lah. That is dislocate. And loss of the consciousness from lack of oxygen. And ini yang selalu kita kata lah ketika COVID, because the level of oxygen is not equivalent that human beings should have, okay, and it's below, so it become like you can faint it, you can like anytime you can have lost your life. And the loss of the consciousness or acute illness from exhaustion, inhalation or ingestion of any substance which require medical practitioner treatment. And the last one, any other work related ill health or injury organ. Yang ni kebakaran lah yang menyebabkan you kita panggil apa, hangus kan, okay, which result in the injured person being admitted into hospital for more than 24 hours. Okay, so yeah, this is the thing, that possibility seriously bodily injury, kena air panas ke yang menyebabkan you trauma, so it can be happen. Okay, alright, I think that I'm done with this topic 3, and I hope that I really can benefit my this sharing knowledge is beneficial to all of you. Okay, thank you for now and have a nice day. Okay, bye bye. Stay safe, stay healthy.